Some people get betrayed and just move on. These two women did not move on. One watched her family destroyed and burned an entire empire's cities to ash. The other turned a polite marriage proposal into the most calculated revenge in history. This is the story of two women who took bloody revenge. And trust me, they did not hold back. 61 AD, Roman-occupied Britain. It's 61 AD, and Boudica is the queen of a Celtic tribe called the Iceni. And honestly, life is pretty good. Her husband, the king, has a clever plan. To keep the Romans happy, he leaves half his kingdom to the Roman emperor in his will. The other half goes to his wife and daughters. Smart move, right? Keep everyone happy. Boudica is proud. Her family is safe. Her people are protected. What could possibly go wrong? For a moment, it all feels secure. A queen, two daughters, a future mapped out and protected by law. But the Romans had a very different idea of how this was going to go. They show up, ignore the will completely, and seize the entire kingdom. All of it. When Boudica steps forward to protest, to say, wait, this is ours by law, they decide to make an example of her. They have her publicly flogged. And what they do to her two young daughters is too horrific to put into words. The cruelty of it all becomes crystal clear in a single silent moment. And in that moment, something inside her snaps. This was their fatal mistake. Boudica doesn't cry. She doesn't beg. She rides from village to village, and she shows everyone what Rome did. And the tribes, they are furious. Every wrong Rome ever did comes boiling up at once. Within weeks, she has an army. Not hundreds. Tens of thousands of warriors ready to burn it all down. And here's the craziest part. This housewife turned queen is about to humiliate the most powerful empire on earth. Her first target, Camulodunum, a Roman city full of retired soldiers who treated the locals like dirt. The Romans there are so arrogant they didn't even build proper walls. They thought they were untouchable. They were wrong. Boudica's army crashes in like a tidal wave. The city is overrun in hours. The terrified survivors barricade themselves in a temple. It buys them 2 days. That's all. Then the whole city goes up in flames, burned to the ground. Nothing left but ash. Just like that, a Roman legion races to stop her. The famous Ninth, hundreds of trained soldiers. They march straight into her trap. The proud Ninth Legion is shattered. The survivors run for their lives. A pathetic sight for the so-called masters of the world. Next, she sets her sights on Londinium, the city we now call London. The Roman governor takes one look at her army and makes a brutal call. He abandons the city completely. Everyone who couldn't flee is left behind. London burns just like the city before it. 3 Roman cities, all ash. Tens of thousands gone. Rome is reeling. And here's the thing. Rome cannot let this stand. They gather everything they have left for one final battle. Boudica's army is massive. The Romans are badly outnumbered. This should be easy. But the Romans pick the battlefield. A narrow gap where numbers don't matter. Boudica rides before her warriors, daughters at her side, and gives the speech of her life. Her warriors charge. And then, disaster. The Roman line holds. The narrow field traps Boudica's huge army against itself. The Romans grind forward, step by relentless step. The tide turns in minutes. It's a catastrophe. Boudica's great rebellion collapses in a single afternoon. Boudica escapes the field with her daughters, but she will not be paraded through Rome in chains. Rather than be captured, She chooses her own end on her own terms, defiant to the last. She lost the final battle, but she terrified the greatest empire in the world, and they never forgot her name. Boudica burned her revenge into the open. Our next woman? She served hers cold. Very, very cold. 945 A.D. Kievan Rus. It's 945, and Princess Olga is married to Igor, the Prince of Kievan Rus. Together, they rule a growing kingdom. They have a little son, Sviatoslav. Life at the top is good. The tribes pay their tribute. Everyone knows their place. Olga trusts the system her husband built. Tribute flows in, the tribes stay loyal, and the throne feels untouchable. But one tribe, the Drevlians, has had enough of paying. And when Igor comes to collect extra tribute, things go very wrong. The Drevlians ambush him on the forest road.
No, don't touch me. Help!
Igor
Please, get away!
never makes it home.
Drevlians.
But here's where it gets insane. The Drevlians don't just kill her husband. They get greedy. Their prince, Mal, decides he wants the throne. So he sends 20 envoys to demand that Olga marry him. Marry the man who just murdered her husband. The arrogance is unreal. And Olga smiles. She says she's honored. She'll give them a welcome they will never forget. And trust me, this revenge is about to get absolutely legendary. Revenge number 1. Olga tells the envoys she'll honor them. Tomorrow, her people will carry them through the city in their boat. A great honor. What she doesn't mention? She's already had a giant pit dug in her courtyard. The next morning, her men proudly carry the envoys, still sitting smugly in their boat, across the courtyard. The envoys are loving it. The honor, the respect, right up until the boat reaches the edge, and then her men tip the whole thing in. Olga walks calmly to the edge and looks down. She asks if they're enjoying the honor. Then she has the pit filled in. 20 envoys, gone, one down, just like that. But Olga is just getting started. She sends a message to Prince Mal. Send your finest noblemen, and I'll come to you. Mal is thrilled. Clearly his plan is working. He sends his most important men, the cream of the Drevlian elite. When they arrive, Olga is the perfect host. She insists they wash and rest after their long journey. They head inside, grateful for the hospitality. They have no idea. The moment they're all inside, Olga's men bar the doors from the outside, and then they set it alight. The whole bathhouse goes up in flames with the Drevlian elite trapped inside. 2 down. Olga watches it burn without blinking. This woman does not mess around. Revenge number 3. Olga sends word to the Drevlians that she's coming to mourn her husband at his grave. A peaceful visit. She asks the Drevlians to hold a great funeral feast in his honor. They happily agree. Olga is the picture of grace. She pours the drinks. She keeps the cups full. She makes sure everyone is having a wonderful time. When the Drevlians are well and truly drunk, she quietly steps back and gives a small nod to her soldiers. Her soldiers move in, and the funeral feast ends very, very badly for the Drevlians. 3 brutal acts of revenge, and she still isn't satisfied. She wants the man who started it all. So Olga marches her army to Mal's capital, the walled town of Iskorostan, and lays siege. For a whole year, the town holds out behind its walls. The Drevlians are terrified, and rightly so. Then Olga makes them an offer they can't refuse. Surrender, and I'll spare you. I only ask a tiny tribute. Her price? 3 pigeons and 3 sparrows from every house. That's it. The Drevlians can't believe their luck. They gather the birds and hand them over, thrilled to get off so easy. And here's the genius part. Olga has her soldiers tie a tiny piece of smoldering cloth to each bird. Then they let them all go at once. And of course, the birds fly straight home, back to their nests, in the roofs of the town. Every roof, every barn, every house catches fire at the exact same moment. The whole town goes up. And here's the craziest part. It actually worked. Perfectly. The Drevlians flee straight into Olga's waiting soldiers. The rebellion that murdered her husband is finished. 4 acts of revenge, each one more devastating than the last. Igor's death was avenged in full. And here's the wild twist. Years later, this same ruthless woman converts to Christianity and becomes a saint. The woman who buried envoys alive and burned a city with birds is officially Saint Olga. History is wild. One queen burned an empire in open war. One princess turned hospitality into a weapon. 2 very different women, one very clear message. Don't take everything from someone with nothing left to lose. If this one got you, like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.